Hi friends, welcome back. I know it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks here. I did travel from Yuma, Arizona to Fargo, North Dakota. And then I had to wait, got into the gynecologist on the 29th. They did a biopsy. Thank goodness, what I thought was a melanoma was actually a blood bruise. But he did find what I do have is an autoimmune disease called Lichen Sclerosis. With the biopsy, they're able to rule out that it was no cancer. It can turn into cancer, like squamous cell carcinoma, if it's not treated and kept in. What I thought, ladies, men, you may not want to hear it, but this is for all the ladies. Yes, like I said before, you want to be looking once a month at least when you do your breast exam, do your lady bits exam so that you know what normal is and what isn't. Now, I've had this white colored down there for a long time. The skin, and I just assumed that was old age after menopause. I stopped having a monthly when I was 48. That was the last one I had. I went like a year prior, then I had 1 month, and then it wasn't nothing really, and then I've never had anything since. Now, the doctors always ask, and they knew, and they've never ever asked about doing HRT, anything like that. And they told me, once you're in menopause, you don't need to have yearly exams anymore. Okay. Well, I did a year ago. I had one down in Yuma with my nurse practitioner. But, if they're not looking for this or they don't know what to look for, soon as my gynecologist, soon as he looked, he's like, yeah, that's a bruise, which with this lichen sclerosis, there's like 3 different lichens things that can go on. He thought it was sclerosis, and then the biopsy said yes. This one is an autoimmune. It does make you more susceptible. And I'm like, how did I get a bruise down there? But it doesn't take very much anything to bruise, I guess. What did I hit? And so he said, then I started remembering I had been flipping my mattress. And well, since I usually when you're doing it by yourself and you don't have a lot of room, I apparently kind of use my body because I can't use that knee because it has screws in it, and I can't kneel on that knee that I busted before. And so, maybe the corner of the bed touched in there, but it was nothing that hurt, and then it was a few days, so, but that had incapacitated, but then he saw, and thank goodness I came, because if I had left this could have gone to squamous cell carcinoma and so many other things. I never even knew what this, and let me tell you, it's like a rabbit hole when you go down, and the things that people live with this, besides closing off your clit, it can close off your ureter. It goes down to your rectum area, the outer area there. This itching that kills you. What I'll have to use is I'll be getting a prescription this week now. Anyway, it's a what do you call it? Steroid cream that I'll be using daily until we get it. And then I have to go back to him in the end of August. So that was 2 months from, but if I have any problems prior, and if there's anything else that comes back on any other results, then I need to come in immediately. But this is and it's going to be a long haul, something that you live with. You can go have flares, you can get it under control, and then just have to use this cream once a week or twice a week instead of daily. It can just leave it, and also it can make like your, if you've had like painful sex, which after my husband died when I was 47, and for the last couple years prior to that, we didn't really have sex because I had the what they called, it was a precancer. It was a vulvar VIN stage 3, which had to be, when it gets to stage 3 on this precancer, VIN is the initials of it, it had to be operated on and removed, and it just left things weird. And then a week after I had mine, my husband had prostate cancer surgery, and after, things just didn't work for him. Some guys are able to pop back, unfortunately, and I told him, you know what, that's not something that I care about. I care about you. We've been together 20 years. Well, at that point, it wasn't 20 years, but, we've been together a long time, and there's other things, just being together and being with our kids. To me, it wasn't because of the things that I'd had, the surgery on the edge of my vaginal area and perineal, and it needs to heal, and I did have painless sex after that, which nobody ever told me. I assumed it was because I was going through menopause, and that's the way it happens, and I wish that they educated us more. And there is a lot of things on YouTube. You can look up lichen sclerosis, and there's a lot of YouTube videos that there's doctors on there, and there's some women with societies, and they're finding out it's not as rare as they used to think it was, and they used to just think that it was mainly women over 50 or in the menopause area. They're finding teenagers with it and stuff, and people that suffer many years, unless they get a doctor that actually knows what they're looking for, because not all of them are, educated in it. But yeah, so thank goodness, but it's going to be a long road. I got to get into remission and be able to see my doctor. And so now I'm going to have to go back and sell my trailer and get the rest of my things. I just brought so many things because I figured I might be a couple months up here in North Dakota, but now I'm going to have to move back permanently so I can be by my doctors regularly and have my kids here to help with things. So that's something on the horizon. So I have to make this 1,950-mile trip back down, get the rest of my stuff that I'm going to bring out of the trailer. The rest I will sell the trailer furnished. So that's an update on that. It wasn't cancer, but it's an autoimmune disease that I'm going to have to live with and can be very painful. And I've been dealing with a lot of it before and didn't know that that's what it was. So on that front, on the GLP, I have been off of it. My last shot was the evening of June 3rd. So I have not taken any since. I am still at 162 pounds. I am not having the food noise and stuff. So yeah, because I went off thinking, if I was getting low and I didn't order then because I was going to be coming up, and if they had to do surgery, you have to be off of it. And then I thought, okay, then I'll be back down, and my NP there was going to put me in on July 1st to start so that I could get on the Medicare bridge to start getting Zepbound for $50 a month because I qualify on all the things. But now I'm going to just hold off until I go down, get back, and then I'll go to my NP here, my regular, once I get back, and then go from there. I'll just stay with my daughter and son-in-law here, take care of the grandkids and help them out until I get the trailer sold. But But that's the update. Women, take care of yourself. It's the 4th of July. Happy 250th anniversary of our country. I am home babysitting the dogs. My daughter and my son-in-law went to the lake. One of her best friends inherited a lake cabin from her grandparents. And so they do a lot of things out there. Their whole group of they met at nursing school, and so there's like all these nurses and then their spouses. They get together and they do like Friendsgiving and Christmas thing and Halloween parties, and they just get together, and they get together today. So everybody brings, it's a big house, and then they also have like a trailer that people can stay in, and big couches. Everybody brings their dogs, and they have boats there, and they go out fishing and swimming, and so they were having a good time. My daughter sent pictures that my son-in-law was with the big old husky, and oops, hold on, excuse me. Come here, baby. This is my little youngest grandbaby, who on the 15th, he will be 1 year old. He is a miniature poodle, and we were gifted him. He's a purebred. We were gifted him last year after our Shar-Pei passed away. Charlotte, she had her stomach flipped. The poor girl was only 6 years old. She had been through so much. She was diagnosed with mega esophagus when she was only like 6 months old, so she had that. And then by the time she was 2, she had lost an eye to glaucoma, and then she had some in the other eye, which didn't need to be the eye removed. The other eye was removed, but she was pretty close to blind in it. But she was the sweetest girl, and rough, and then she'd have these ear infections, and she had thyroid problems, and she was just such a poor girl. She was a sweetheart, Charlotte. She was our girl, and then her stomach flipped. We got her in within hours after realizing what was going on, and they did surgery, but unfortunately, maybe it was a little longer than we thought. We thought she was going to recover. Over $8,000 in surgery, and then she passed away. And then a couple months later, a young gal, an 18-year-old girl who worked with my daughters and I, and this girl was a CNA, and she thought, and her mom worked there too as a nurse, but the girl thought, she's going to college, but I'm old enough, I can buy myself a dog. So she bought this purebred for like $1,200. He was a puppy. And her mom's like, are you sure? Because they'd raised big dogs, and the mom and dad actually raised them. You know how it is. And then so then the daughter had him a few days. This is George. Had him a few days, and of course she realized how much a puppy, she worked part-time, goes to college part-time. There isn't time, and if you want to be with friends and things. And her mom's like, you're not selling him. We will find someone who we can rehome him to that we know will love him and take care of him. And so they knew that my daughter had lost her baby, Charlotte, and so they said, would you want George? Well, then my daughter said, well, she had to ask but luckily I was living with them at the time, and she said, Mom, would you be, okay with us getting, because it's going to be, with her working, she was working a lot of double shifts, and my son-in-law works a lot of hours, and I said, yeah, I can, and so he's only been without his grandma for like a couple months when I went back to Arizona. But now and he was happy. And the other 2 boys are older. They are 13, almost 14-year-olds. A Puggle, and then a Bichon Pomeranian mix. So, but we're going to go here. Happy 4th. and I'll keep you up. So far, I'm maintaining the weight loss. I haven't gained. It's been staying, the 162, point this, point that, but it has not went over that. And my scale was with the doctors too, like a pound different, but I, wasn't naked on theirs. So okay, we'll see you next time. Happy 4th. And if you're curious, look up the lichen. It's Lichen and then sclerosis. It's not fun. Bye.